name one of the greatest innovations in human history. And that's the idea of a democracy based on individual rights, in which the power doesn't come from the divine right of kings or the sword of conquerors, but from the consent of the governed. That's why that sentence begins with we hold each other. That's why our Constitution begins with we the people. And this is a innovation. There was no other country like that. And it was something you learn at a conference like this. It was a collaborative innovation. It wasn't just one person waking up and doing it. Together, drawing on Locke and Berkeley and Hume and Newton, the science, we can create a new type of society.
And you talk about the common ground and how that is, there's a chapter, very short chapters, I'll assure you, about that idea of a thought, a workplace for thoughts, and a common ground that we need as a democracy. How do you see it eroding today?
Yeah, the common ground is such a foundation for democracy. John Locke, who really is a strong believer in private property, he sets a moral foundation for it, but he has what's called Locke's proviso, which is if you create something as your private property, you can take it from nature, as long as there is good enough left in common. And so in the aristocratic England, where most of the land was owned by aristocrats, they had a portion that was set aside called the commons. Now, I went up, Patrick will remember, I went up to Boston and Cambridge from Louisiana to go to college, and there's Cambridge Common and Boston Common. I'm thinking, that's sweet. It's nice parks, not as pretty as Audubon Park in New Orleans, but then I realized those were commons. That's where the commoners, that's where the word commoner comes from, could graze their herds if they didn't have land. They could bury their dead. They could plant their gardens. And so what we do as a society is we value individual liberty, but we decide certain things will be left in common. So Franklin and the founders do it. The police departments, the militia, the fire squad, the Widows and Orphans Fund, even healthcare. I mean, we shut our government down now because we can't figure out how much healthcare should be in the commons. But they do the Philadelphia Hospital, which is public and private, and they balance it. Obviously, the Academy for the Education of Youth. So our society depends on the balance of what do we put into the commons versus what do we keep private. And we can disagree on our politics. Oh, maybe healthcare should be a little bit more private. No, maybe it should be more in common. But if we keep it in the framework, and we know that these aren't communist versus fascist type things, these are just the framework of what do we put in the commons, that's the foundation for a good society.